Hi guys. In the previous session, we started our fourth lesson. Let us quickly revise what we have seen so far. We saw about Sanjay Stupa, and in Sanjay Stupa, which is located near to Bhopal, was preserved and protected by the efficient and very important help of Shah Jahan Begum and her successor, and they have contributed a lot and protected the stupa from the railway workers and the English and French men. Then we went on to see about the background, and in which we saw a very important question: why mid first millennium is regarded as the turning point in world history. We saw a very important question. 3 points we saw there. Then we went on to see some of the sacrificial traditions existing in that time. Then some philosophical questions existing of that time. Then we went on to see the debates and the discussions happening in a place called Kuttagara Shala, which literally means a hut with a pointed roof. We saw in that, and what happens if a philosopher is able to convince the other person, and he gives up his old beliefs and starts following the philosopher who convinced him. Then then we went on to see how the Buddhist texts were prepared and preserved. First, it was orally, just discussed, and later on, after the death of Buddha, it was all written into, compiled into a book, and it is compiled into three Pitakas, that is three baskets. The first one is Vinaya Pitaka, which talks about the rules and regulations of those people who join this monastic order, that is Sangha. Then we saw Sutta Pitaka, which is purely of Buddha's teachings. The last one is Abhidhamma Pitaka, which talks about philosophical matters like God, universe, and other things. Then we also saw some of the other Buddhist texts like Deepa Vamsa and Mahavamsa, and some other texts also by persons called Fagian and Huan Suang, who came to India from China just to study about Buddhist religions and traditions and rituals. Fine. Then we saw about these two people, fatalists and materialists, who are also called Ajivikas. Fatalists are called Ajivikas, and materialists, we all know, they are also called Lokayatas. Very important source it is. Fine. In the last session, we had done with page number 87. Now we are into page number 88. That is the fourth lesson. Now the question is, what is the philosophy of Jainism, or what is the message of Mahavira? Anything, any type of question regarding Jainism, the answer is this: the basic philosophy of Jainas was already in existence in North India. Sorry. It is not that after the birth of Vardhamana, that is Mahavira, who later came to be called as Mahavira, his original name is Vardhamana. Okay, so it is not that after his birth the Jainism started, coming into existence. It's not like that. The basic philosophy of Jainas was already existing in North India. So what happened after Mahavira? It became very very populous with his ideas. Okay, so according to Jaina tradition, Mahavira was preceded by 23 other teachers. They are called Tirthankaras. Actually, Jainism has got 24 teachers. They are also called as 24 Tirthankaras. And Tirthankara literal meaning, Tirthankaras का literal meaning ये है, बहुत important है, meaning that those who guide men and women across the river of this existence. Across the river means the life, this material life. ये material life से दूसरे life जाने के लिए help करते हैं, guide करते हैं ये तीर्थंकरास. So our Mahavira is one of them. He is the 24th Tirthankara. Okay, fine. This is a brief introduction to Jainism. So what do you know? What you should know for your MCQs is this: जैनिज्म केम इनटू एक्सिस्टेंस ओनली आफ्टर द बर्थ ऑफ महावीरा. अगर स्टेटमेंट है तो वो एब्सोल्युटली गलत है. ठीक है, it is before the birth of Vardhamana. Also the Jainism was existing. Fine. The most important, the philosophy begins from here. Okay, about the philosophy of Jainism begins from here. From here to this whole paragraph is very important. आपको there is no other way but to memorize this paragraph. The most important idea of Jainism is that the entire world is animated, means everything in this world, even stones, rocks, water, everything has got life. That's a fundamental idea of Jainism. They speak about, our Jainism speaks about, that entire world is animated, entire world has got life, even the stones, even the rocks, even the water has got life. First point. Second point, non-injury to living beings, especially to humans and animals, plants, and even insects, is central to Jaina philosophy. Mean they don't hurt anybody, they don't injure anybody. So it is nothing but a ahimsa, which was talked by, proposed by our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. He was inspired by Jainism, and he had taken this idea from Jainism, non injury to living beings, especially human beings को तो करना ही नहीं है. Okay, live the human beings. If you do some injury, there is a lot to take place. But animals, yes, some, there are some laws for animals. Who cares about plants, insects? But these people care about this. So very, very wonderful thought about this, thought of this Jainism. Second point. The third, in fact, the principle of ahimsa emphasized with Jainism, yes, has left its mark on Indian thinking as a whole. I talked about this. ये आप थर्ड पॉइंट में लिख सकते हैं, नहीं तो लीव इट, नो प्रॉब्लम. अकॉर्डिंग टू जैना टीचिंग्स, द साइकिल ऑफ बर्थ, दिस इज द थर्ड वन, द साइकिल ऑफ बर्थ and rebirth is shaped through karma. If you are going to have birth or rebirth, if you have taken birth on this earth as an animal, as a man, it is because of your karma that you have done in your previous life. If you are going to take a rebirth as as Ambani in the next life, someone, a very rich person in the country, then it is because of the karma that you have done. Today in this Bollywood, lot of this birth and rebirth के बारे में बहुत discussion चल रहा है. You all know if you follow the news. Fourth one, asceticism. Asceticism means severe prayer, fasting, and penance. Penance means, like, giving up every material pleasure and taking up this kind of, so asceticism and penance are required to free oneself from the cycle of karma. अगर ये कर्मा में आपको रहना है, तो ये सब करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Follow the flow of the life, enjoy the material life, have whatever you want, eat, make merry. But if you want to escape from this cycle of karma and be one with God, then asceticism and penance are required. Fourth point, this can be achieved. ये जो cycle of karma से आपको बचना है, तो you have to renounce the world. Renounce means giving up. This worldly pleasures को आपको, you have to give up. You have to give up this family. You have to give up your wife and children and money, power, everything you have to give up. And therefore monastic existence is a necessary condition of salvation. अगर आपको salvation चाहिए, एक monk बनना बहुत जरूरी है. Monk, to become a sadhu is a necessary condition of salvation. If you want to escape this cycle of karma, if you want to be one with God, you have to renounce this world and you have to take up this monastic existence. Fine. Jaina monks and nuns took 5 vows. What are the 5 vows that Jain monks and nuns? If you have seen monks and nuns, they walk around. They take 5 vows. What are that? One, to abstain from killing. They will not kill anything, anybody. Anybody to dur dur ki baat hai. Anything, not even an ant, not even a small, any insect. So first one. Second, no, they abstain. Abstain means दूर रहना. ठीक है. They abstain themselves from stealing, lying, and the fourth one is to observe celibacy. Very, very important. Celibacy means not marry. So that is the fourth one. The fifth one, to abstain from possessing property. These are the five vows, oaths they take up when they become these monks and the nuns. Fine. Monks is a male person, nun is a female person. This. Still class 11th में हमने पढ़ा था एक चैप्टर में, क्लर्जी वाला चैप्टर में. Fine. So the world beyond the palace. So this is a source about The just as Buddha's teachings are compiled by his followers, the teachings of Mahavira are also recorded by his disciples, same as this. They are often in the form of stories which could appeal to the ordinary people. Here is one example from Prakrit text known as Uttaradhyana Sutta. This is a book in Jainism, okay? Please, you should know. Describing a queen named Kamlavati trying to persuade her husband to renounce this world. ये दुनिया को छोड़ के become a monk and try for salvation. ये उसको try कर रही है, मतलब persuade कर रही है. So that is this source. Please read this, you will understand. This is taken from a book called Uttaradhyana Sutta. Fine. Now, spread of Jainism. How Jainism got spread? Let me just quickly revise this philosophy of Jainism because it is an important question. Jainism से कोई भी question आए तो answer उसका they can ask the philosophy of Jainism. What is the central theme of Jainism? What are the some of the teachings of Jainism? Anything related to Jainism, anything related to that ideology of Jainism? Answer ये है, ठीक है? The whole world is animated. First one, non-injury. Third one, second one. Third one is, uh, you know, cycle of cycle of birth and rebirth is based on this karma, and if you want to escape this karma, asceticism and penance is very much required. If you want to free yourself from the cycle of karma, then you have to renounce this world. For this, monastic existence is a necessary condition of salvation for everyone. And this is all the philosophies. The last one is the monks and the nuns, they take the 5 vows of abstaining from stealing, killing, lying, observing celibacy, and abstaining from possessing property. ये पूरा आपको फिंगर टिप्स में याद होना बहुत जरूरी है. 3 marker only. It's not a long answer. The spread of Jainism. Gradually, Jainism spread into many parts of India. Like Buddhist and Jaina scholars also produced a wealth of literature in the variety of languages like Prakrit, Sanskrit, and Tamil. In all these languages, they wrote a lot of things, and it got spread to many other people. Some of the earliest stone sculptures associated with the religious traditions were produced by devotees of the Jaina Tirthankaras and are not so important. Leave this paragraph. Now, moving to Buddhism. So Jainism has a very few things to tell in this lesson. So that what we need to know is that paragraph that which I highlighted completely. Now we are into the Buddha and the quest for enlightenment. The whole chapter covers this Buddhism, Stupa, and all that. Now, one of the most influential teachers of the time was Buddha. This cannot be debated. This is the fact, and this is the truth. Okay. Over the centuries, his messages spread across the subcontinent, beyond through Central Asia, China, Korea, Japan, even Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, Indonesia, and go on. How do we know about the Buddha's teachings? First, how can we know about Buddha's teachings? ये सब 3 markers में आ सकते हैं. So they have been reconstructed by carefully editing, translating, analyzing, and analyzing the Buddhist texts mentioned earlier. What are the Buddhist texts mentioned earlier? Three Pitakas, Mahavamsa, and वो एक और वंशा है, Deepavamsa. Yes, that's the first one. Second, historians have also tried to reconstruct details of his life from the hagiographies. Very important. What is hagiographies and 1 marker? ये both exams में आप previous year papers में आ चुके हैं. What is hagiography? Hagiography is a biography of a saint or religious leader. Please understand, 1 marker में स्टेटमेंट में बायोग्राफी को हटा के ऑटोबायोग्राफी लगा देते हैं, तो आप पढ़ के सेंट और रिलीजियस लीडर को देख के खुश हो जाएंगे और सही कर देंगे. नो, इट्स अ रॉन्ग स्टेटमेंट. इट इज अ बायोग्राफी. मीन्स somebody else writes on this saint or religious leader. Autobiography is he or she himself or herself writes on his or her life, whereas biography is written by some other person on other person. Maybe the hagiography is a biography of a saint or a religious leader. This hagiographies often praise the saint's achievements and may not always be literally accurate. सही ऐसा एकदम सही होना भी मतलब literally सही होना भी नहीं. They are important because they tell us about the beliefs of the followers of that particular tradition. So second, हमें कैसे पता चलता है बुद्धा के टीचिंग्स के बारे में? सेकेंड, हेजियोग्राफी के थ्रू. ओके. Now, third, many of these were written down at least a century after the time of Buddha in an attempt to preserve the memories of great leaders. So, we come to know about this person through two things. One, from by editing, translating, analyzing the Buddhist texts. Second, through the details of his life from the hagiographies. ये दोनों के through हमें पता चलता है. The person before becoming Buddha, he was Siddhartha. The person who was later on came to be called as Buddha. The beginning was known as Siddhartha, and he was a son of a chief of Sakya clan. Okay, Sakya was a clan ruling dynasty. He was a son of chief of that person, and he had a sheltered upbringing within the palace, insulated means protected. Insulation आपने सुना होगा ये वायर में सब में हम इंसुलेटर लगाते हैं, व्हाइट कलर सॉरी ब्लैक कलर रेड कलर ग्रीन कलर में आते हैं इंसुलेटर. सो insulated means protected from the harsh realities of life. This person had a very you know uh, mm, uh, very safe life. Okay, he had not seen any misery in his life. He had a very protected life. One day he persuaded means he requested his charioteer means ghoda gadi chalane wala. So chariot means charioteer to take him into the city. His first journey into the world outside, he traveled at the age of about 30, 32, 33. He traveled for the first time out. That means he was for almost 30 years of his life he was within the palace. He has never seen the world outside. His first journey into the world was very dramatic. Dramatic, not dramatic. Dramatic means trauma, very much painful. He was deeply anguished means becoming so much saddened. He was anguished when he saw what are the things he saw? Three things he saw. He saw four things he saw. First, he saw an old man. Second, he saw a sick man. Third, he saw a corpse. Old man, sick man, and corpse. Corpse is a dead body. Okay, so he saw three things and he became so much saddened. बहुत ज़्यादा चिंतित हो गए. Then he realized in that moment that the decay and the destruction of the human body was inevitable. मतलब बॉडी जो ह्यूमन बॉडी है उसका सड़ना और उसका खराब होना इनएविटेबल है, कैन नॉट बी अवॉइडेड, होना ही है. It has to happen. So he also saw another person, a homeless mendicant. Mendicant, I told you earlier also this word came in our lesson. Mendicant person, one who depends on begging and eating, is a beggar. Homeless mendicant who it seemed to him had come in terms with old age, disease and death and found peace. ये सब है उसके पास, old age है, disease है, even वो मरने वाला है, मरने मरने जैसा लग रहा है, but even then his face was full of peace. He was a very peaceful person. Then Siddhartha decided that he too would adopt the same path. उसके जैसे ही मैं भी एक mendicant बनूंगा कि I will go around the world, I'll beg for my food and I will live a life, then I will find that eternal peace. So he decided. So four things he saw. They will ask what are the four things he saw and which made him to change his way of life. Any question can come from his life sketch. Okay, Siddhartha decided that he would go and he left the palace and set out in search of his own truth. Fine. Siddhartha explored several paths, including bodily mortification. Bodily mortification means अपने मतलब शरीर को दर्द देना. That is mortification means giving lot of pain to the body, which led him to a situation of near death, almost not eating for many days and sleeping under the scorching heat and lot of things and standing in a one posture for many days and all this. Now abandoning these extreme methods, he meditated for several days and finally बाद में ये सब methods को mortification bodily mortification को सब छोड़ दिया. लास्ट में एक मेथड अपनाया, वो मेथड है कि मेडिटेशन. इन दैट ही फाइनली अटेन्ड एनलाइटनमेंट. आफ्टर दिस ही केम टू बी कॉल्ड एज बुद्धा. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय बुद्धा? बुद्धा मीनिंग द एनलाइटेंड वन. ये क्वेश्चन बहुत बार आ चुका है. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय बुद्धा? बुद्धा मीन्स द एनलाइटेंड वन. For the rest of his life, he taught Dhamma or the path of righteous living. Dhamma means righteous living. The path of righteous. ये सब वो पढ़ाने लगे, बताने लगे. Fine. So that is about you can say the early life of Buddha. Question can come on this. The early life of Buddha, what was he, and whose son he was, and what made him to change his way of life. Now comes the philosophy of Buddhism or the teachings of Buddha. You can say philosophy of Buddhism or the teachings of Buddha. Buddha's teachings have been reconstructed from stories found mainly in Sutta Pitaka. हमें पता है कि three books है. Sutta Pitaka talks about first one, three Pitakas. This one, what is that? One is Abhidhamma Pitakas, talks about the philosophy. Sutta Pitaka is teachings. The first one, Vinay Pitaka, talks about the rules and regulations of a Sangha or monastic order. Fine. So anything related to the teachings of Buddha, it's mentioned in Sutta Pitaka. So we come to know all this from Sutta Pitaka. Although some stories describe his miraculous powers, others suggest that Buddha tried to convince people through reason and persuasion rather than through displays of supernatural power. ये अपने आप को उनके पास एक supernatural power था, miraculous power थे, लेकिन हमेशा वो use नहीं करते थे, because he used to convince the people through reason and persuasion. उनको एक reason बता के समझाते थे life situations को. One example is this: one lady bringing the child who already died, and she brought the child to Buddha. He gently convinced her. उनको आराम से इन्होंने समझाया कि about the inevitability of death. Death को आप avoid ही नहीं कर सकते. Inevitability of death के बारे में उनको समझाया और बोला कि take your son back. I cannot bring your son back to life, but you have to accept the inevitability of death, and made her understand. So this is how sometimes he behaved like a human, not always like a god. According to Buddhist philosophy, this is the philosophy. According to Buddhist philosophy, the world is transient. Transient means very very which is always in a changing mode. नो अनेका मीन्स बहुत है, ऐसा कि एक इधर एक दिन ऐसा था अगले दिन वो हो गया. दैट इज अ मीनिंग. द वर्ल्ड इज कॉन्स्टेंटली चेंजिंग. ट्रांसिएंट और चेंजिंग मीनिंग सेम ही है. So according to Jainism, the world is animated, whereas Buddhism, the world is transient or constantly changing. It is also soulless, anatma. There is no any soul. The world is as there is nothing permanent in this. क्यों soul नहीं है? क्योंकि कुछ भी चीज इस दुनिया में ऐसा नहीं है जो परमानेंट है और इटर्नल है. Understand? Everything is, it's like the world is like a flowing river. No, you cannot see the same water in the river. Every time when you go to the river, you see a different water. Okay, it is like a flowing river. Within this transient world, sorrow, that is dukkha, is intrinsic to human existence. ये जो वर्ल्ड है जो ऑलवेज चेंजिंग है, जो परमानेंट नहीं है, उसमें एक चीज तो परमानेंट है, वो है दुखा. ह्यूमन एक्सिस्टेंस मतलब ह्यूमन लाइफ के लिए एक चीज है कि वो हमेशा है, मतलब दुखा, दैट इज sorrow. It is by following the path of moderation between severe penance and self indulgence the human beings can rise above these worldly troubles. अगर ये दुखा से आपको बचना है तो एक ही चीज है कि यू हैव टू चूज द पाथ ऑफ मॉडरेशन. बिटवीन चलना पड़ेगा. किस चीज के दोनों के में? एक तो सिवियर पेनेंस, प्रेयर, फास्टिंग, पेनेंस करना पड़ेगा, मेडिटेशन करना पड़ेगा, और दूसरी तरफ सेल्फ इंटेलिजेंस, अपने आप को किसी चीज में इंडल्ज करके लाइफ में, सो दैट ह्यूमन पर्सन कैन अराइज अबव ऑल दिस ट्रबल्स. इन द अर्लीस्ट फॉर्म बुद्धिज्म, वेदर गॉड, मतलब अभी तो वो अभी अगर बुद्धिज्म जो अभी जो फॉलोअर्स है उनसे हम पूछेंगे whether God exists or not, they will say yes. But earliest forms of Buddhism, they never believed in God. They said whether God exists or not exists, we are not worried. It is irrelevant to us. We don't believe in God. We just talk about the world being impermanent, and there is a sorrow always in this life intrinsic to human person. And if you want to escape from this sorrow, you have to follow the path of moderation, taking up severe penance and self-indulgence, so that you can arise from these worldly troubles. Whether God exists or not exists, that is none of our business. That is not relevant to us. That is the ideology of early Buddhism. But today it has changed. They will say that they believe in God and all that. So Buddhism in practice is taken. This is taken from Sutta Pitaka. It contains an idea given by Buddha to a wealthy householder named Sigala. In 5 names, you have to, in 5 ways, the master should look after the servants and employees by assigning them work according to their strength. ये बुद्धा एक हाउस होल्डर, वेल्दी हाउस होल्डर को एडवाइस दे रहे हैं. वो एडवाइस है कि मास्टर सर्वेंट्स को, एम्प्लॉयज को एक मास्टर कैसे ट्रीट कर सकता है, उनको ऐसा काम दें वो अपने उनका जो स्ट्रेंथ है उससे उधर उससे करें. एंड बाय सप्लाइंग दम विद फूड एंड वेजेस, by tending them in sickness, taking care of them when they are sick, and by sharing delicacies with them, food and all with them, and granting leave at times. 5 ways cleanse men to take care of this samanas. Samanas are those people who renounce the world. तो ये लीडर्स हैं, चीफ्स हैं. क्लैंसमैन मतलब लीडर्स, ये जो दुनिया को, साधु संत को और ब्राह्मणास को कैसे ध्यान रखना चाहिए. By affection in act and speech and mind, and by keeping open house to them and supplying their worldly needs, ऐसा इनका. So he is giving an advice. Buddha is giving advice to Sigala. Fine, read this source also. Now the Buddha regarded the social order as the, ये भी teachings में ही आते हैं, ठीक है, वो continuation of that question. The Buddha regarded the social world as the creation of humans rather than divine origin. ये जो social order जो आप बता रहे हैं, नो ब्राह्मणास, क्षत्रियास एंड social order जो आप बता रहे हैं, ये सब human का creation है, it's not divine. Therefore he advised kings and Gahabatis to be humane and ethical in their dealings. इंडिविजुअल एफर्ट वाज एक्सपेक्टेड टू ट्रांसफॉर्म सोशल रिलेशन. सो ये सब इंडिविजुअल का अपना अपना रिलेशन देखना है, कोई ऊपर वाले मतलब ऊपर ब्राह्मणास ये सब इनके ऊपर कोई ये नहीं करना. The Buddha emphasized individual agency and righteous action as the means to escape from the cycle of birth and rebirth. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये. जैसे जैनिज्म ने बोला दो चीज, इधर ये बोल रहे कि ये ह्यूमन इंडिविजुअल एजेंसी, अपने आप और आपके अच्छे कर्म से ही आप ये साइकिल ऑफ रीबर्थ से बच सकते हैं. और सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन एंड निर्वाणा, दैट इज द एनलाइटनमेंट, आपको तभी मिलेंगे. व्हाट इज दिस निर्वाणा? निर्वाणा एक्चुअली इट इज निब्बाना और निर्वाणा, एनीथिंग यू कैन से, means extinguishing of the ego and the desire, thus end the cycle of suffering for those who renounce the world. That is the meaning of it. That is enlightenment. Actually that is called enlightenment. That is what Buddha got after so many years of meditation and all that. So what is the literal meaning अगर पूछेंगे वन मार्कर में, तो वो है extinguishing, मतलब बंद करना, खत्म करना. Extinguishing of the ego and the desire, thus end the cycle of suffering for those who renounce the world. Fine. According to Buddhist tradition, his last words to his followers were very very important words. You can mark this word and follow for your life. आप अपने बुक में कहीं भी आप लिख लो ये बुद्धा का लास्ट. This is the word spoken by Buddha for the last time. Be lambs unto yourselves, as all of you must work out your own liberation. आप आपको अपना लाइफ खुद संभालना है, किसी के ऊपर डिपेंड नहीं होना है. Very beautiful words by Buddha. Just before his death, he said, "Be lambs unto yourself." आप अपने लिए दिया जला के आपके लिए रखे. Don't wait that somebody else will come and save you. No, you have to work for your own liberation, not others. Very very beautiful statement by Lord Buddha. Fine. Now the followers of Buddha. Soon there grew to be a body of disciples called group of disciples. He founded for them. He founded a sangha. Sangha, what is sangha? Question आ सकते हैं. That is an organization of monks who too became the teachers of Dhamma later on. Okay, so उनके लिए followers के लिए संघा एक organization बनाया. These monks who lived simply, possessing only essential requisites for survival, like as a bowl to receive food once a day from a laity. Laity means ordinary people से. उनके पास एक कटोरा होगा, उससे वो जो भी चाहिए खाना वो एक 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 बार ही खा सकते, मांग के खा सकते हैं. As they lived on alms, not alms. This alms, alms means somebody giving something help, okay, some food or money, or so they depended on this. As they lived on alms, they were known as bhikkhus, bhikkhari. They fully depended on this alms जो दूसरे देते हैं उसमें ही dependent थे. इसलिए इनको ये लोग बुलाते हैं, आज भी monks को बुलाते हैं bhikkhus. Okay, bhikkhus, very important. Who are bhikkhus? Initially only men were allowed into the sangha. Later women also came to be admitted. According to Buddhist, पहले ये statements of one marker में बहुत important है, ठीक है. Yes, only men even today. No, women also. According to the Buddhist text, this was made possible through the mediation of Ananda. Ananda is a very, the Buddha's dearest disciples. Ananda, very important person, Unmarkar ke liye. So he mediated with Buddha. He told, who persuaded him to allow women into the Sangha. So Ananda ke request pe Buddha ne women ko bhi allow kiya. So Buddha's foster mother, not real mother, one who brought him up, foster mother, was inducted as the first person ordained as bhikkhuni. So very important one marker. Buddha's foster mother, that is Mahabhajapati Gautami. Her name is Mahabhajapati Gautami, was the first woman to be ordained as bhikkhuni. So bhikkhus, male followers, female disciples or followers are bhikkhunis. Many women who entered the sangha became teachers of Dhamma, went on to become theris. Who are these theris? All these people who went on to become theris, this means respected women who had attained liberation. तो ये जब अंदर संगा में आते हैं तो वो भिक्खुनीस कहलाते हैं। जब एक बार वो लिबरेशन मिल जाता है, उनको एनलाइटनमेंट मिल जाता है, तो उनको थेरिस कहते हैं। थेरिस मीनिंग रेस्पेक्टेड विमेन। The Buddha's followers came from many social groups. They included even kings, wealthy men, Gavapatis, also workers, slaves, craft people. Once within the Sangha, all were regarded as equal. एक बार आप संघा में आ जाते हैं तो सब equal है. Having the shed their earlier social identities, सब खत्म करके उनको एक ही identity मिलता है, वो है bhikkhus and bhikkhunis. The internal functioning of Sangha was based on the traditions of Ganas and Sanghas, where any decision to be taken, it was taken by the consensus, means democracy, voting, arrived through a discussion. If that failed, decision was taken by a vote on the subject. Okay, they go for voting. अगर discussion fail हो जाता है तो they go for vote. By vote they decide their internal things. Okay, so that is about the followers of Buddha. We have seen the Buddha's teaching, we have seen followers of Buddha. Fine, दोनों अलग अलग क्वेश्चन है, प्लीज दोनों अलग अलग क्वेश्चन में लिखना, ठीक है। ये एक इम्पोर्टेंट इंटरेस्टिंग सोर्स है। अ लेडी कॉल्ड सुत्ता पितका में है, ये एक भिकुनी है। शी इज गोइंग एवरी डे टू ड्रॉ वाटर फ्रॉम द हर नेम इज पुना, दासी स्लेव वुमन. She went to the every day she goes to the river to fetch some water, bring some water for her master's household. There she would daily see a brahmana performing bathing rituals. One morning she spoke to him. After many mornings, she used to see him always in the cold water, standing there and doing some rituals. So she asked him, I am a water carrier. Even in the cold, I have always gone down to the water, frightened of punishment. मुझे punishment मिलेगा. मेरे masters, no, they will get angry with me. So I have to go and bring water. What are you afraid of, Brahmana? That makes you go down to the water. Your limbs shake even bitter cold में. इस ठंड में आप रोज जाके वहाँ, और आपका क्या प्रॉब्लम है, आपको कौन डांटेगा? Brahmana replied, I am doing good to prevent evil. Anyone young or old who has done something bad is freed by washing in water. तो उसने बोला कि मैं अपने आप को एक मतलब डेविल ईवल से बचा रहा हूँ. आई एम वॉशिंग माई सेल्फ, फ्रीइंग माई सेल्फ फ्रॉम ऑल दिस सिन एंड ऑल दैट. देन पुन्हा शी आस्क्ड, whoever whoever told you this, you are freed from evil by washing into the water. In that case, जो भी उसको आपको जो भी बोला है वो गलत बोला है. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर ऐसा है तो all the frogs, turtles would go to heaven. So would the water snakes and crocodiles, क्योंकि ये रोज पानी से मतलब रोज उनको wash हो रहे हैं. They are getting washed by all this river water and they should be the holiest people to go to heaven. Don't do such a thing because of this. You will become sick. Your skin will become, you save your skin from the cold and get out of this water and go home. So this means this is a very critical condemnation or critical criticism on this Vedic, you can say Hindutva ideology को ये बुद्धिज्म कैसे क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है, उसके लिए ये सोर्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. So please read this source also. Rules for monks and nuns, please read this. विनय पिटका से लिया गया है कि you have to have only one this one, what is that, blanket to be kept with you for 6 years. After 6 years only you have to take another blanket, otherwise you are not supposed to. And you have to receive from the people only once in a day and all that. Read this, okay, read this source. Now Buddhism grew rapidly both during the lifetime Buddha, even after his death, as he appealed to many people dissatisfied, those people who dissatisfied with the existing religious practices, that is Brahmanical tradition that of that time, जो भी वहाँ dissatisfied हुए थे, they all came and started following this. Confused by rapid social changes taking place around them, the importance attached to conduct the values rather than the claims of superiority based on birth. The emphasis is based on मेटा मीन्स फेलो बीइंग करुणा. तो बुद्धिज्म का जो एम्फोसिस है, what is that emphasis? Emphasis based placed on metta, that is fellow being. Metta means fellow being. Karuna means compassion, especially for those who are younger and weaker than oneself. So इनके लिए even especially for women. So people who got dissatisfied with the social changes of that time, existing religious practices of that time, started following Buddhism, which gave importance to fellow being and compassion. Okay, so this is how they all started. Fine. So we have seen Buddha, teachings of Buddha, and followers of Buddha, and two, three important sources also. The next one, very important one, is stufas. Stufas, as I already explained what is stupa. So we have seen that Buddhist ideas and practices emerged out of process of dialogue with other traditions, including with the Brahmanas, Jainas, and several others. Not all whose ideas and practices were preserved in text. Some of these practices are sacred to them. Fine. From the earliest times, people tended to regard certain places as sacred places. पहले से कुछ ऐसे प्लेस हैं जो हम उसको बहुत ही sacred, holy मानते थे. This included sites like where special trees or unique rocks or sites of awe-inspiring natural beauty, like all this. मतलब जो भयानक जो है उसको हम ऐसा मानते थे, unique rocks को हम मानते थे. These sites with small shrines attached to them were sometimes described as chaityas. Chaityas, even in Buddhism, earlier also सब में मतलब बहुत सारे religion में chaityas को मानते हैं. Buddhism बहुत ज़्यादा मानता है. Chaitya may have been derived from the word chitta, meaning a funeral pyre, or by extension a funerary mound. मतलब funeral, चित्ता मीनिंग जहाँ पे मतलब डेड बॉडीज को हम बरी करते हैं, उसके ऊपर एक तो माउंड, मतलब माउंड टाइप का थोड़ा सा कंस्ट्रक्शन बना देते हैं. स्पेशली मुस्लिम्स एंड क्रिश्चियंस, दे फॉलो दिस. So that is the meaning of this chitta. Chaitya word is taken from here, chitta. Okay, so Chaitya, like any other religion, in Buddhism also a sacred place is there, that is Chaitya. Buddhist literature mentions several Chaityas. It also describes places associated with. These are some of the Buddhist Chaityas जहाँ पे बना हुआ है, ये मैप में है. You can go through all of this. Buddha's life. All this actually first Chaityas Buddha life से related places में बनाया जाता था. फर्स्ट प्लेस विच इज रिलेटेड टू बुद्धास लाइफ, दैट ये वन मार्कर के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. मैच द फॉलोइंग में आएगा, अरेंज इन नो क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर में, सब में आ सकता है. द प्लेस वेर ही वॉज बॉर्न इज लुम्बिनी, वेर ही अटेन्ड एनलाइटनमेंट इज बोध गया, वेर ही गेव हिज फर्स्ट sermon, that is Sarnath, where he attained Nibbana, that is Kushinagara. So these are the four places, and this is in chronological order: Lumbini, then Bodh Gaya, then Sarnath, then Kushinagara. So you have to know the places related to his life, and also the chronological order, कौन सा first है, second, all that. Gradually, each of these places came to be regarded as very, very sacred, and we know about 200 years after the life of the time of Buddha, Ashoka erected a pillar at Lumbini to mark the fact that he had visited the place. ये भी एक important fact है. Which leader went to Lumbini to erect a pillar to mark his visit to Lumbini? That is Ashoka, after 200 years. So why were stupas built? ये separate question 3 marker में आ सकता है. नहीं तो हम ये पूरा स्तूफा में ये क्वेश्चन सर जस्ट दे कैन आस्क नो explain stupa, otherwise what the importance of stupa in Buddhism, ऐसा करके क्वेश्चन 8 मार्कर में आ सकते हैं. अदरवाइज 3 मार्कर में ये why were stupas built एक क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं. बिफोर वी सी why were stupas built, उसको देखने से पहले हम ये सोर्स 8 को देखेंगे. सेम क्वेश्चन, why were stupas. Actually this is taken from Mahaparinibbana Sutta, that is Sutta Pitaka में एक पार्ट है. In this Buddha is in his deathbed. Okay, so Ananda is going to him and asking him, "What are we to do, Lord, with the remains of Tathagata?" Tathagata, another name for Buddha. Tathagata meaning another name. तो ये पूछ रहे हैं कि हमें क्या करना है, आपके जो बॉडीली रिमेन्स है, डेड बॉडी, आपकी जो चीज है, जो भी है सब, इसके साथ हमें क्या करना चाहिए? बुद्धा रिप्लाइड, हिंडर नॉट, हिंडर मीन स्टॉप, stop not, don't stop yourself Ananda by honoring the remains of Tathagata. Be zealous, zealous means committed, be intent on your own good. ऐसा नहीं, आपको अपने आप को रोकना नहीं है, मतलब तथागता को रेस्पेक्ट देने से। When pressed further, बुद्धा said, और मतलब ये लोग, इसका मतलब क्या है, बार बार पूछने पे बुद्धा ने और बताया, at the four cross roads they should erect a tupa, tupa पाली में स्तूपा होता है, to the tathagata, and whosoever shall there place garlands or perfume or make a salutation there, respect जो देते हैं, आदर देते हैं, become in its presence calm of heart, and person will get profit and joy. तो बुद्धा खुद बताते हैं कि मेरे लिए एक स्तूपा बनाना है आपको करके, इसीलिए शायद इन्होंने ये ट्रेडिशन, स्तूपा ट्रेडिशन स्टार्ट किया। आपके आंसर में ये भी एक पॉइंट के रूप में आप लिख सकते हैं, शॉर्ट समरी में, इतना बड़ा पूरा सोर्स को का मत लिखो। There were other places were regarded as very sacred. That is where the relic of Buddha or his bodily remains or objects used by him were buried. उसको हम स्तूपास कहते हैं। So what is this stupa? Stupa meaning a place where the relics of Buddha and such as bodily remains or objects used by him were buried. This is the meaning of stupa. I tried to explain to you what is stupa in the beginning of lesson, but यहाँ पे आपको एक आंसर के रूप में मिल रहा है, and it is mound and it is called stupa. Now, tradition of erecting stupa may have been pre-Buddhist earlier. पहले भी आपको पता है बहुत सारे funeral, after the burial they erect some mound and all. Stupa पहले भी था, but they came to be associated with them. Later on बुद्धिज्म आने के बाद ये बुद्धिज्म से ही रिलेटेड थे और कोई रिलीजन में नहीं. Since they contained relics regarded as sacred, the entire stupa came to be venerated as an emblem of both Buddha and Buddhism. Buddha and Buddhism के लिए एक important ये sacred place है. According to Buddhist text known as Ashoka Vandana, very important, Ashoka Vandana Buddhist text में Ashoka distributed, इसमें mentioned है, Ashoka distributed the portions of Buddha's relic to every important town and ordered the construction of stupa over all these places. Very, very important. By 2nd century, including Bharhat, Sanchi and Sarnath, ये तीनों स्तूपा अशोका ने ही बनाया. So a question भी important है, Sanchi, Bharhat and Sarnath stupas were erected or built by Ashoka. So Ashoka Vadana, उस टेक्स्ट से हमें पता चलता है कि how much Ashoka took interest in building stupas. Fine. How were stupas built? How were stupas? It is built actually by the donations of many people. It was built by mainly donations, and some donations were made by the kings like Satavahanas, and even some ivory workers donated. And they gave the finance the part of one of the gateways in Sanchi. Ivory workers gateway, 4 gateways में एक ivory workers देते हैं. Hundreds of donations made by men and women who mention their names, sometimes adding the name of the workplace or the what is the occupation that they do and all that. Even bhikkhus and bhikkhunis also contributed a lot towards building monuments. So how were they built? Purely on the donations. That is the one word में अगर बताएं, purely on the donations. Now how were they built नहीं आ सकता है, but why were they built आ सकते हैं. Then थ्री मार्कर में द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ स्तूपा आ सकते हैं. वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ऑल टुगेदर पूरा स्तूपा के बारे में आ सकते हैं क्वेश्चन में. देन अदरवाइज स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ स्तूपा अलग से आ सकता है. द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है. सो स्तूपा इन संस्कृत मीनिंग अ हीप. हीप मीन्स एक साथ इकट्ठा करके बड़ा माउंट बनाना. ओरिजिनेटेड अ सिंपल सेमी सर्कुलर माउंट. सेमी ये कैसा होता है? सेमी सर्कुलर माउंट ऑफ द अर्थ कॉल्ड. पहले ये जो नीचे पोर्शन होते हैं, जो माउंट बनाने का फर्स्ट पोर्शन होता है, उसको हम आंडा बोलते हैं. इट्स नॉट अंडा, इट इज आंडा. सो लेट अस सी दिस. इफ यू सी दिस पिक्चर यू विल अंडरस्टैंड. Yes, this picture. If you see this, the down portion, this down portion is called anda. Okay, the down portion is called anda. Then let us read again. If you read this, that down portion is anda. Then gradually it evolved into a more complex structure, balancing round and square complex structure, square shapes Above the anda was Hermica, a balcony-like structure that represented the abode of gods. Very very important. ये जो Hermica है, जो बालकनी जहाँ पे एक बार उस वांडा के थ्रू ऊपर चढ़ते हैं, ऊपर चढ़ के एक पूरा एक सर्कल ले सकते हैं आप, एक राउंड आ सकते हैं उस बालकनी में. That is the place where the gods live, abode of gods. So that is a place where just above anda. Okay, so if you see that black color railing है, वो एक balcony है, तो people take a round praying there, so that is called a abode of this one, abode of gods. So that is Hermica. So anda, above anda, that is Hermica. Now arising from the Hermica was the mast called Yashti. उसके ऊपर उसके ऊपर जो ये जो ब्लैक कलर में है, उसके ऊपर जो है वो छतरी है, उसके नीचे जो पोर्शन है ना, दैट इज यष्टि. ओके, सो ऑफन सरमाउंटेड बाय अ छतरी और अम्ब्रेला. तो उसके ऊपर यष्टि के ऊपर छतरी है, दैट इज अम्ब्रेला. सो अराउंड द माउंट वाज अ रैलिंग. वी नो अराउंड द माउंट देयर इज अ रैलिंग. रैलिंग के फोर अलग अलग ये होते हैं. सो व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस रेलिंग? रेलिंग होने के कारण, रेलिंग होने के कारण है सेपरेटिंग ए सेक्रेट प्लेस फ्रॉम द सेकुलर वर्ल्ड. बाहर की दुनिया से सेक्रेट दुनिया को अलग करने का एक वो वॉल है, रेलिंग. ओके, so this is the structure of stupa. यहाँ तक आपको स्ट्रक्चर, the four structures of stupa. One is anda, the other one is harmika, then yashti, then chhatri. Okay, so सबका अलग अलग मीनिंग है. मतलब हर्मिका का मीनिंग है और रेलिंग का भी मीनिंग दे रखा. अर्ली स्तूपास, these are the early first stupas. Sanchi and Bhargat were plain except for the stone railing which resembled bamboo and all that. Fine, no problem. I installed four cardinal points. मतलब holy, cardinal means four points में four gateways है. Okay, worshippers entered through the eastern gateway and walked around the mount in the clockwise direction. Very very important. आते हैं तो clockwise direction में चलते हैं, keeping the mount on the right. माउंट को राइट साइड रख के क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में घूमते हैं. क्यों राइट साइड रखते हैं? क्योंकि सन राइजेस, okay, imitating the sun's course through the sky. Later the mount of the stupas came to be elaborately carved with a sculpture. पहले प्लेन होता था पूरा दीवार या गेटवे सब प्लेन होते थे. बाद में no, they started engraving lot of sculptures on the gateways and all that. Okay, niches meaning also carving only, niches or this one like of Amravati and Shaji Ki Deri in Peshawar, Pakistan. ये बहुत important this one स्तूफा है, एग्जाम में आ सकते हैं. शाहजी की देरी स्तूफा इज लोकेटेड वेयर? इट इज इन प्रेजेंट डे पाकिस्तान, पेशावर. क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं. So this so when they ask about the structure of stupa, you need to draw this picture. Fine, in the answer 3 marker. So with this today we'll know for this we call this session off. We will take the next topic in the next session. Till then, all of you please take care and read and take care. Bye bye.